Hi everybody, it's Kathie. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I'll be featuring the August 2018 Paper Pumpkin Kit, and I have an unboxing. I'm going to create 2 of the cards and also an alternate card project, so hopefully you'll stick around. All right, so we're going to crack open this box, and we have a promo to start. It's called Something Spooky This Way Come, so I guess it is Halloween themed for the next month. So if you're in Canada and you're interested in trying out Paper Pumpkin, get in on it before September 10th. Okay, so here is the stamp set, and it's got a flower. Holy moly. All right. That first one there on the left says, "The loss is immeasurable, but so is the love left behind." It has, "You make me so happy. Congratulations. Thinking of you and thank you." So here is the written instructions. Lots of pretty flowers, 2 different designs, and a total of 10 cards. So we have the usual dimensionals and glue dots that I'll show you later on. We have some die cut leaves. So 2 in the green, 1 in the clear or white velumish. Then we have these labels, and then here are the 2 cardstock designs. Lots of flowers. Too bad we didn't have bigger flowers on that stamp set, huh? Anyway, pretty nonetheless. And then we have these really nice envelopes. And these envelopes are very similar to the ones in the Christmas catalog, by the way. But these ones have green and pink speckle on it. That was the pretty pink with silver twine. And we're going to take another look of the stamp set and the instructions. And I know I didn't mention this earlier, but the ink spot is Blackberry Bliss. All right, so we're going to jump into creating the 2 cards in the kit. So I have the stamps that I'm going to be using on my acrylic block. And we're going to start off with the one with the smaller banner. I have my leaves all ready. And I think the instructions said to cut out 12 inches. So I did for the twine. And it is a pretty pink color on that twine, by the way. All right, so I'm stamping Thinking of You in the Blackberry Bliss. And then I'm going to stamp this big sentiment on the bigger tag. And then here is the twine. And I think the twine part was the hardest part for me. So either I cut it too short, which I don't think I did, or I don't know. I just don't like the way it is, because I looked at the picture a gazillion times and I don't like it. So after fiddling for a while, and I even put glue dots on it and it wasn't sticking because I was completely manhandling it, I decided I'm just going to twirl it kind of in a circle, but I'm being picky here because I want a loop on the top too. So I'm just pulling out that one section and taping it out. So now I have kind of 2 loops, one at the top, one at the bottom. So I'm happy with that. And then 2 of the leaves, one in the green, one in the clear vellum. We're just going to glue dot those together and have 2 on each side. So I put dimensionals on that, and that one is done. And then we're going to move on to the next tag. We're going to do the same thing, except we're only going to have 1 loop at the bottom and 2 at the top because this tag is bigger. And I can live with that. So we're just going to do the same thing, the 2 leaves together using those glue dots. And then we'll just stick it on the back of the label, and then with dimensionals and try to get it straight on there. And that's it. So pretty quick and easy, but I'd have to say the most challenging part was the twine, for me anyway. All right. Here's the envelopes, 1 in pink, 1 in the green specks. So these are pretty happy cards with the silver edging on the envelopes. All right, we're going to move on to the alternate card project, and I have a piece of white cardstock. I do cut this down afterwards to 4 inches wide, and it does measure 5.5 inches. So I am using Blackberry Bliss with the flower stamp, and I do initially start off with the first generation, second and third, and then I just kind of went first and second a few times. And then I used the stamp. I'm sorry I didn't really show it to you, but I used the other stamp that has the center, I guess, I don't know what you call that, the center part of the flower. So I used Daffodil Delight. And then the stamp set has this cute little kind of leafy, spriggy thing. So I used Granny Apple Green for that. And then this part here is, I don't know, it looks like a fuzzy little heart. So I use Blushing Bride. And then I added a couple of little spriggy, leafy things on the trio of hearts there that I added on the top left. And then I decided to sponge it in with Balmy Blue. I honestly didn't really have a game plan on how I was going to create this card. So everything that I did today was kind of on the fly for this project. The first flower kind of got a little bit too smudgy, so I decided to stamp it again. And I did have a little bit of Melon Mambo on my little sponge dauber. Anyway, so I did the same thing, and then I just cut out that other flower, and then I grabbed 2 of the smaller vellum leaves, stuck those together, and then stuck the flower on top of that with a dimensional, and then I tied an itty bitty little bow and tucked it behind the flower. Now I decided I'm going to mount this flower panel onto Berry Bursts instead. And instead of just stamping the sentiment straight on the panel, I decided that I'll use a piece of vellum. So I cut that at 2 inches by 3.5 and then created the little tail on the bottom. I stamped it with VersaFine black ink, and then I used clear embossing powder. I would have used the Stampin' Up! One, I just couldn't find it. To stick down the piece, I rolled a couple of glue dots and stuck it under the L and the E. And once I placed it on the flower panel, the left top corner kind of popped up. So I was able to stick one more glue dot, and I put it underneath the H, and that worked out just fine. I created one more flower off screen, and I stuck that over top of the vellum piece with a dimensional. And I did decide to put a pearl on each one of those flowers because those centers were kind of getting lost. Well, that's it for today's card project. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye for now.